Hey, how's it going? I've got another really cool use case for using Claude with Notion through Notion's MCP, which stands for Model Context Protocol Gateway. And I hope it is for you, but this is really useful for me. And this is, say you were on a meeting that ran late, you've got a next meeting that it's already bleeding into, you've got to quickly jump to that next meeting, but you need to update some tasks and some projects based on what was discussed in that previous meeting. Well, if you got good hygiene and have a good operation set up, you probably recorded that meeting, i.e. you have a transcript or some sort of summary coming away from it. Well, let's just tell Claude, hey, look at that summary, cross-reference my task database, and update any projects and tasks that were referenced in this meeting based on what was discussed. So let's go ahead and dive in. Quick disclaimer, this is assuming that you have already set up the connection between Claude and Notion. I'll link to a newsletter where I showed you how to do that below if you haven't done that already, but assuming you have, let me show you how this new use case works. We're going to start with a prompt here in Claude, and it's going to say something. Please review my meeting MCP database, this one here, and analyze the meeting transcription from the weekly team stand-up. You can see it named there, that took place today. Then cross-reference my task MCP database, this task database we have above, and adjust any task due dates and or add additional notes gathered from the meeting as it relates to any of the tasks mentioned. And then also I just added something says, hey, be sure to date any additional notes within the task database, just so over time, if it's a larger project and we're collecting a lot of notes through different meetings from it, it's nice to have that ordered. Let me go ahead and show you. So if you're using the Notion AI Meeting Notes block, the final product you get or the output of that after it's done recording is something really similar to this. I've mocked this up for this example right here, but would be something very much that. Let's go ahead and fire this thing off and see what Claude's able to do. It'll probably take 30 to 45 seconds for it to first look at our meeting notes, the transcription that we came away with, to figure out if any task or projects were mentioned that is currently in our task database here above. And as it starts to find those tasks and add those details, you'll probably see a couple dates. There we go. Start to shift over here. Yep, that actually happened pretty quick, which is pretty cool. And we'll go through this summary, and I'll pop open a couple of these tasks to show you how it also added notes within these individual pages. Looks like it's doing that now for our financial report task, if we could find that one. Yep, I can see that it just added notes to this conduct performance reviews team as well. Even as it's continuing to do that, we can go ahead and jump in, and you can see this is all. I should have shown you before, but this was a blank page. So you can see update, Jamie reported, and so on and so forth. Really helpful that it dates it for you, because as you can imagine, over time, it would this would read as a change log or an update log, if you will. You can see some specific details there. And what's really cool is this is the 101, the most baseline of an action we could ask Claude to take as it relates to meeting notes in our task database. We could even go further to say, hey, and if something from the meeting that was mentioned gives you the idea that priorities have changed, this financial report now is a less priority than, let's say, our team building activity that we have coming up. To adjust those priorities within the priority column, it could very easily do something like that. The world is really your oyster when it comes to this stuff. This is very much the one use case. And what's nice too over here, because it does make those changes quick, and in the scenario that I painted for you, you're already off and on to your next meeting, focusing on the next task at hand. So you could come back here when you do have a second, and you could just see what it did. It added notes. It even created some new tasks for us, which is great as well. It's a really wonderful use case. I know we'll get back to back meetings, and then you want to take a lunch break and just catch your breath. Go ahead and push some of that busy work onto Claude and AI in general for updating, keeping your test database up to date. Hope you enjoy it. I got a couple more use cases that's coming, and I'll see you then. Cheers.